what can happen when you dive too deep into quote unquote spirituality. I just came back from working out. I was watching a video on YouTube about Michelle Phan. I used to watch her videos back in the day when I was like a teen, and I don't think I follow her anymore. So I came across this video, so I'm like, I could watch it while I finish my workout on the treadmill. And it just dives into her path into spirituality and quote unquote being in a cult. I stopped watching it. I'm home now. I probably won't finish watching it. But I had left a comment under that video. I believe the channel name is called Not a Good Girl. First time watching a video. And I just started thinking. That's why it's so important that when you do start this path, or your path into, let's say, the unknown, because when you are going to approach spirituality, it is the unknown. That's why there are millions of people with questions. No matter how many times you meditate a day, or how long you meditate for, or you use this, you use that, divination, etc., no one really knows the true answers. That's why empaths, psychics, mediums, people who use divination, etc., they all say different things. As a human, you are not supposed to know the answer or the answers. That's why if you do seek a tarot reading, guess responses through divination, like the Ouija board or a pendulum, or just someone who is psychic, the answers will always be different, or responses will be different. So going back to the video, I had commented something around the lines of, that's why it's important to not get lost in spirituality. You have to stay grounded, rooted in quote unquote our reality, or your reality. Your reality is different than mine. How so? My emotions, my mentality, my actions are going to be different to yours, to how you approach things, the way you think things. I do believe, relating it to the video, that you can heal the human body so that you can cause an influence. In the video, the content creator was just showing things that Michelle Phan has posted over the years, interviews, things like that. And I stopped at the part where I forgot his name, but it's a man who has said that he has healed his own body. I believe he was injured. He had like a spine fracture or something about his back, and he was able to heal himself by visually, my understanding, visualizing and working energy through his body to heal certain points. I don't remember, because the first time I heard about that was like years ago. But I do believe that that is possible. But relaying it to Michelle Phan, like, how do you go from being like one of the first like YouTubers, content creators, influencers, she's a business owner, super successful, to all of a sudden like showing and sharing your spirituality and stuff like that. So people find it weird, and she's in a cult. So again, I stopped. But I had left that comment, so I was like, you know what? I feel called to make a video. A couple years ago, when I had my online business, I was a small business owner, I was really intrigued with my path into spirituality. I would have like a journal writing down affirmations. I was really deep into self-love work. I used to offer candle spell services. I used to offer tarot readings. Eventually, I had metaphysical products, crystals, crystal jewelry that I made, things like that. And you become so intrigued with learning, with knowledge, and trying to find answers per se. But sometimes you can forget about Oh, my hand is tired. See if I can switch it. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the audio. Sometimes people forget that you have to focus on your reality, right? I would be so focused on trying to like answer messages, answer emails, getting all these readings done in one night, candle spell services. I would do like multiple on certain days, and I'm like losing sleep. I'm so tired. I had low energy. I remember during that time, I worked from home. I never worked out. I gained like hella weight. So I was neglecting my physical health. That's just an example of one thing. So for me personally, my spiritual path, it pretty much just, the path I was going towards, what I was on, just completely stopped. It became almost, not saying that my spiritual path didn't exist, excuse me. It's just the things I was doing, I stopped. Over the past like 2 years or so, I've tried to like do tarot readings again for other people. It's just too much to handle because I had no choice but to focus, put focus into my physical reality, right? So I think it's important for those that might be curious or are on a spiritual path or wanting to dive into it, is remember to stay realistic in a sense, but grounded in in your reality, right? So, let's say you no longer want to wear fragrances, use anything with chemicals on your body. You want to go more on the natural path, etc. Like, that's totally fine. Been there. But maybe you might start lacking in taking care of yourself properly. So self-care, right? So that's just one example. Another example is like someone who loves to help other people with healing work, that you are able to offer these services, or you're able to talk to people, but get to the point where you're doing it for free all the time. There is absolutely no problem. My arms are tired. I'm sorry. I worked out. Yeah. There's no problem with offering a free tarot reading for someone, or talking, letting them like kind of in a sense vent to you. But there has to be a stop to it, because I have been that person. Or when it gets to a point where you are, for example, if you're a tarot reader, or if you do like Reiki healing or anything like that, you have to start somewhere. But if you've been doing what you're doing for a while, you need to increase your value, because your energy, your actions, your efforts, that is worth something. So I kind of moved away from Michelle Phan, what I was listening to, but it's a reminder that people can get lost. And everyone's spiritual path, once again, is going to be different. So for me, for example, like I reached a point where it was too much. I couldn't deal with my small business and then my family life, and at the time I was in a different partnership, and then with work and all that stuff, it was too much for me. So I had to stop and just focus on my family, myself, and my work. No longer in that previous partnership. So that was like a whole complete change. And then throughout that time, you learn lessons, you get experiences, etc. So relating it back to the video of Michelle Phan, because I remember, because I used to like follow her on social media, especially YouTube, and she like disappeared for a couple of years, and I was like, what the heck? We were all like, what the heck? What happened to her? What happened to Michelle? But by that time I was like, whatever. And then my interests changed as well, so I'm not really into like watching like makeup tutorials and hair tutorials and all that stuff, although that is still an interest of mine, but not like when I was a teenager. But yeah, so it's important that when you are on this path or starting this path, or you want to get into astrology, numerology, doing tarot, oracle readings, or even just watching readings like on TikTok or YouTube, just be mindful of who you're watching, who you're listening to, because at the end of the day, it's all an influence, and everyone's responses, answers, intuitive messages are going to be different. Like, I could watch a reading in like 3 minutes, watch it, listen to it for like 15 minutes, however long the reading may be, and actually believe that everything that tarot reader said is going to happen. But I could listen to another reading that is maybe half an hour long, and maybe things happen there. What that reader said happens or doesn't happen. Or from both readings, multiple readings, certain things. It's needing to be mindful. And I have a candle right in front of me that says mindful on it. You have to be mindful and grounded of how you're receiving these messages, these energies, and from whom. Because it could really influence you and you can get lost. And I say that from experience, because I used to listen to like mediums and like believed everything they said, and I'm like, over time I realized you seem so ungrounded, and like every time you're talking about certain things, it's like you're yelling because there's so much like energy and passion in you, but it's like, where are you expressing all this energy towards, right? So I'm not talking badly, but in that case, I noticed like they were neglecting like their physical health, their mental health. So I'm like, I gotta step back from this particular like channel or Instagram accounts, or like it's very like 111, 222, 1212. I believe in angel numbers and synchronicities and all that, but it gets to a point where like, if you're constantly like in this loop, in this cycle, that's everything you see, the influence is not realistic, if that makes sense. You can follow all the accounts that are super positive, universe and energy and everything, but how is it helping you? So visually, yes, that can help, but for some people, they have to do the internal work, and for others, they also have to do physical work, right? So I don't follow all of these like super aesthetic, spiritual type of accounts like I used to. I like to, see funny videos or watch reels and stuff like that, or whatever. It's just an example. But it's important to have a variety of things in your life, podcasts, meditation, affirmation videos, the type of music you listen to. You got to be very mindful. So just don't get lost. Don't get lost. We need you here. You need to be grounded and rooted. And sometimes it happens, your path just changes completely, and it's just what the universe has for you, and you lose connections. Your life changes. My life has changed drastically within the past like 3-4 years. But I know where my path is headed towards. So I'm excited to share that with you guys soon. And it's a cycle. Sometimes you go back to things you used to do before, but differently. But just in general, be mindful and stay grounded. Okay, bye.